Hi, it's early August. I thought I'd just give you, I don't know, some details about how I grew these cabbage. They're pretty impressive specimens. I don't know really if you can get a sense of scale, but I'm a bit too close for my hand, but they're way over a metre big in diameter anyway. You can see those. I got 4 of them. I bought them from Medward and Williams' site in Anglesey, North Wales, Cornish Giant. I'd hoped to repeat OS Cross, but I couldn't get a supplier in time from the States. So these were the lucky ones. They were germinated at home in some low heat, and as soon as they came up in early February, they were banged out to the allotment under some cover in a greenhouse. They then underwent a series of maybe, I don't know, probably about 4 repottings, and they went out when it looked like the worst of the gross frosts were over in about mid-April. They were then protected by the netting, predominantly from the 2 critters of cabbage white, which was a bit early in April, but in the future, and pigeons. I germinated around 10 seeds because I had space for, I reckoned, about 4 plants in the beds being 4 feet by 8 feet, expecting 1 plant to be in half a bed. I germinated 10, about 8 or 9 came up. I then killed about 1 or 2 by accident, repotted the others, and then chose the best 4, or at least what appeared to be the best 4. Of course, prior to all that, last autumn I made sure the soil was heavier. In fact, I added root grindings to aid water absorption with some leaf mould. When it came to planting, it was about half a bag, maybe 50 litres of compost in the hole with some slow release granular grow more. Bear in mind, I'm not doing these for being green and organic. I just purely wanted to see how big these beasts get. After that, I then fed them from about May onwards with liquid grass food, which is pretty much mostly nitrogen, although someone else said you could have probably used chicken manure, which is equally pretty good in quick acting nitrogen, and then sat back. Looking after it, I have read some people growing these on a, if a professional word is appropriate, professional scale, put some support for the lower leaves so they're not flat on the floor and rot off. Some of the leaves have yellowed and rotted off, and I've removed them really to stop slugs hiding. Yeah, I have poured a ton of slug pellets. This is on the bed of an old stream. It is wet at the back. I might also add it's not in full light. We're early in the morning now, so they are in light. It perhaps is shaded from midday sun, which, given this is a very dry year, has been advantageous in keeping the water in the soil. Then it's just been a question of wait and see. To get to water underneath, I have to lift the lower leaves up and water direct, and each watering is about every other day with a liquid feed as noted. I think it's a reasonable effort, and I think I'd consider buying more specific select seed rather than a generic big type. Remember, when you're doing specialist things like this, the seeds do start to add up. I suppose to some degree we're lucky with regards to the year being very mild earlier on without a degree of significant frost. Although saying that, I found that brassicas really can tolerate pretty cold in a greenhouse. I mean, way below freezing in my opinion, with a bit of protection. What kills them is by being too gentle with them, keeping them inside, and they just get elongated, attenuation as I call it, or I pronounce it, that's what it is called, and end up getting leggy and stopping living. So the heads are beginning to form. We'll see how big these get. But that was that's how I did it, or how I am doing it. I reckon I've got another 4 weeks left of these beasts heading up. Next year, things to improve. I have read about putting a trellis underneath for lower leaves is noted to keep them off the soil, and possibly giving them a little bit more space, even up to one bed each, given that I do know once they start overlapping it restricts their ultimate diameter, and as you can see here they are just overlapping in the middle. That's all for now from my Cornish Giants. Ta-ta.